투아 유아 안녕하세요. 자연스럽게 게임하는 디스이즈네이쳐 자연이랍니다. 오늘 할 게임은 에픽 오브 이안나라고 하는 이안나의 서사시라는 게임을 해보도록 할게요. 그럼 한번 고고고. 한국어도 되어 있어요. 뭐 허접한 한국어긴 하지만 말이죠. 스타트 고고고. 자동 숨겨지겠지? 전체 화면이 없네요 아직.
Many thousands of years ago in ancient Mesopotamia, the high priestess of Inanna in Hedwana,
수천 년 전 고대 메소포타미아에서 이안나?
Hedwana knew that the coming danger was not only to her people but to all of humanity. Yet her aspect was calm, her words measured and deliberate.
그렇군요.
For in Hedwana had experienced a most fateful dream the night before, and she knew well the question her young attendant would ask.
How did the humans get the maze in Hedwana?
메이즈를 어떻게?
Young Utuzus. So you will learn how the Queen of Heaven gave humans the holy maze. Long ago, a terrible storm brought darkness and chaos over the world. Many of our ancestors
그렇군요.
abandoned hope, for it seemed that the tree of humanity was doomed to extinction. But although the other gods ignored the people's suffering, the Queen of
이난나네요.
Heaven,
이안나가
Inanna,
아니라
looked on with love and
이난나.
decided to save humanity. She
천부의 영.
boldly went to Enki, the god of wisdom in the deep sweet waters. Enki greeted Inanna respectfully, shared the drink of the gods, and then tested her with many challenges. Inanna prevailed against each of Enki's trials, showing herself to be his equal in intelligence. Enki was so enamored with Inanna's beauty and brilliance that he proudly offered to her the holy maze.
오.
Inanna accepted the maze graciously, placed them in the boat of heaven, and then set out for the land
약간
of the
역사
humans.
같은 내용을 담고 있는
After
게임인가
Inanna
봐요.
left and Enki recovered his sobriety, he realized his boastful mistake and sent demons to stop the boat of heaven. But Inanna called to Ninshinbur, the queen of the east, for aid, and Ninshinbur valiantly defeated the monsters. Again and again Enki sent demons to stop Inanna, but again and again Ninshinbur came to Inanna's rescue. At last the boat of heaven and the holy maze reached the humans' gates. Inanna freely shared the maze with the people, allowing humans to survive the storm and prosper greatly.
이난나
Inanna
씨가
laughed with delight at the people's joy and
이렇게
exultation
만들었다고
of
하네요.
her. Enki, too, saw the people rejoicing and was moved to rejoice with them. All was in harmony.
그러면서 지켜냈다고 하네요. 엔키에게서
Inanna had
말이죠.
saved and nurtured was still young and vulnerable. The vigor and fertility of humanity brought an evil-hearted serpent to nest within its tree. This wicked one offered the privileges of exploitation to
뱀이
those who
나오고 하는
followed
거는
him.
약간 성경의
And this
내용과
attracted
비슷한 게
many
있긴
among the
하네요.
humans.
아담과 같은 이브 이런
Once
내용도.
the serpent amassed an army of followers, they ousted Inanna and denigrated her worship. Inanna called out to the other gods for help to rescue the worthy among the humans, but they saw only the humans dishonor
이난나를
and
인간을
simply helped
위해서 자기를 희생해서
Inanna
구출했지만
spoke to the future,
되려
hiding the
인간은
maze within a song
이난나를
unsung.
구해주지 않았네요.
Having set destiny in motion, Inanna rested in the heavens and awaited the dawn. In time, great heroes heard the call of Inanna and, one by one, they entered her garden to battle the serpent and his followers. When the fifth dawn came at last, the wicked one was slain and the tree of
그래서
humanity was
이난나는
saved.
죽었는데 그
The people
추정하는
again
사람들이
rejoiced and sang
그
the
뱀의
praises of Inanna.
추정자를 무찔렀다고
Smiling
하네요.
like a mother whose children have grown strong and wise, the Queen of Heaven stretched her arms across the earth and gave the fruit of immortal happiness to humanity.
Then why do we still need the maze?
At that very moment, the king of Akkad, Manishtushu, hurriedly brushed by an
메스가 왜 필요한 이유가 뭘까요, 우리에게?
at the great door. The king's face was ashen with worry, and he wrung his hands as he spoke.
High Priestess Inanna, we must talk. The beginning of the end is upon us.
Yes, Manishtushu, we will talk. Listen, sweet Utuzus. Inanna's heroes have not yet come. The maize are the holy seeds which must grow in order to bear fruit. If we are not careful to nurture and protect them, all will be lost before Inanna's song is heard. Now go to your mother, Utuzus. I must talk with King Manishtushu.
And Heduanna, what of her? She should leave, should she not?
No, my brother. Ninki is loyal to the Queen of Heaven.
Very well. Listen closely, sister. We must flee. They are coming for me, and when they have finished, they will come for you as well.
And I will greet them with courage and pride, Manishtushu, just as you should. Where is the Lion of Suma, brother? The brave king whose mighty war cry strikes fear into his enemies.
뭔가에
The time for
씨앗을
bravery is
지키기
over, sister.
위한
All we can do now is save
내용을
ourselves.
Brother,
진행하는 것
remember what
같군요.
it means to be king. You must think not only of saving yourself,
텍스트 게임인데
but
그냥
saving your
지켜보는
people.
건가 봐요.
Be brave,
제가 뭘 할 필요가
for
없이
their sake.
영화를 보듯이
What
스토리가
worth does
진행돼요.
bravery have? In the end, how is the brave king any different from the cowardly one?
그
Both
각자의
end life
생각들이
alone,
지금 치받고
turning
있죠.
into dirt in their tombs. Forget bravery, sister. Let's flee while we can.
뭔가 지금 전쟁을 하려고 하는데 의견이
Your life
충돌되는 것
has
같아요.
worth beyond your body and its fate. The people depend on you as their protector. Have you so easily forgotten your duty to your people, brother?
It is the people who have forgotten their duty to us, sister.
우리가 선택을 하는 건지.
Where were the people when my son Naram-Sin stalked me in these halls, plotting my downfall? Where are they now? When he musters his
이
forces
사람
against us.
많이
Let
추추추는
us leave this land and
뭔가
Heduanna.
배신을 당해서
Hasten
그런지
to our cousins over the
우선
mountains.
회피하고
I will not,
하자는 걸
brother.
하고
I will never
이
break the oaths that I
여성분은
have made to the people
엔헤두안나
and to the temple of
씨는
Inanna.
싸움으로써 보호를
Give
하려고
your
하네요.
oath to me, your own brother.
Do not ask me to choose, Manishtushu. I am
매니스투스
sworn to the goddess. Stand with me against the usurpers.
Tahunum's flawless hearing detected another visitor ascending the temple
누가 또
steps.
왔나 봐요. 이렇게 싸우려고 할
Furtively
때
looked out the porthole of the great door.
High Priestess, Naram-Sin approaches.
오,
I block
나람신
his way. Sister, you must come with me now. I cannot wait any longer.
Brother, stay and fight. The temple will aid you.
I must flee. Remember when they come for you that I tried to save you.
Manishtushu.
Goodbye.
굿바이.
Manishtushu turned to leave and Tahunum gestured to the servant's entrance. Manishtushu frowned, but quickly exited through its simple frame. Then, just for a single moment,
나람신과에게
Inanna drew her
싸움에서
hand over her
피하냐
face and allowed her resolve to briefly soften.
싸우냐에 대해서
What have I done?
마니스투스는 런을 했고요.
High Priestess.
이분은 지키기로
It
했죠.
is futile, Tarhunum. Let Naram-Sin enter.
Tahunum drew the great door open and the noble, Naram-Sin, strode into the room, his eyes
엔헤도
fixed
안
on
나왔구나.
Heduanna like a jackal cornering its prey. He was accompanied by his most trusted officer, Galagal.
엄청나게 강한 인물이 와요. 나람신 씨가.
Aunt, have you seen Manishtushu? I have heard he has entered your temple.
Do you mean your father, the king?
He's been here, hasn't he?
나람신이 아까 그 사람의 아들이었나 봐요.
He pled with you to run away with him. But you were too proud to flee, and yet he was too afraid to stand against me. Inanna, why would you wish to ally with such a coward?
This is the holy temple of Inanna. Only the reverential are allowed to enter. Tell me, Naram-Sin, have you discovered piety in your heart?
Piety. I have no use for
이
it.
나람신은 완전히
Then
여신이랑
you already
대적되는
have the
분이에요.
answers to your questions.
무력이나 이런 걸
Now, if you
생각하는
will
자이고.
excuse me, I must prepare the offering to Inanna.
You know, Aunt, I have looked into the royal accounts.
그리고 여신에 대한 걸 믿지 않는 사람인가 봐요.
Someday we should speak of changing this temple into something that enriches the kingdom rather than drains it of treasure. Perhaps a brothel or a lending house.
Someday, perhaps, but not today. Now, unless you wish to join the rites, surely something more enriching calls you elsewhere.
근데 무슨 게임이지?
Indeed, something
이러고
does.
뭔가 시작되나
But I
게임이?
will return. Of that you may be sure.
아니 메소포타미아의 문명에
And I
대한
will
걸
be ready when you return.
그런 설화를 보여주는 건지.
Of that, you may be sure.
Narum-Sin snorted and stared coldly at Inanna for an uncomfortably long time, then abruptly left. Galagal's eyes locked with Tahunum's, and he paused as if he was going to say something. But, reconsidering, Galagal silently followed through the great door after Narum-Sin. Once Tahunum had ensured that the intruders had fully descended the temple stairs, he nodded to Inanna. At once, the High Priestess rose from her chair.
Quick, Ninki. We must prepare immediately.
Yes, High Priestess. Are we leaving?
Not we, but you. I will stay, and, with Inanna's blessings, I will fend off my
그래도
nephew
우리가
and his
좋긴 하네요.
ruthless ambitions.
동료나 부하들은
But there is
지키려고 하고
something much too precious to
본인이
risk
끝까지
falling into the hands of Narum-Sin.
남으려고 하는 게 말이죠.
You must take it to the other world.
The other world of the West.
다른 데 가려고 하나
Is the
보네요.
other world real, High Priestess?
Yes, and I need you to take it there, Ninki.
Take what, High Priestess?
The most holy of the holy maze. It reveals the magic of the soil. This is the secret of creating life from death and purity from filth, and came straight from the star of Inanna. I must enter the innermost
그
chamber of the temple to
이난나의
retrieve it.
무슨 걸 얻으려고
Key.
지금.
You must take the May to the Druidia, for only the Druidia know the way to the other world.
The Druidia? I thought they were only a story.
They are indeed real, and the Mainoan know the route to them. Thus you must go to Crete, and from there to the Druidia.
다른 사람들은 그걸 다 신화나 역사라고 자부하고 있지만 이 에네두안나 씨만 믿고 있네요.
And pray for me, Ninki.
Yes, High Priestess.
Inanna traced her fingertips across an engraving of Inanna in the back wall of the room, then pressed carefully in two features of its figure. The sound of expertly carved stone sliding was heard as the stone panel pivoted and revealed a secret door. Inanna disappeared into the pitch-black passage and closed the panel behind her, her path in the dark guided by memory as much as by touch. Ninki waited praying while Tahunum stared at the ground and searched his mind for its own secret passages. Suddenly Tahunum raised his head, for another visitor approached. Tahunum gripped the hilt of his sword with one hand as he slid open the slit of the porthole.
You may not enter further, Galagal.
아
Calm
갈라갈.
yourself, Gudyan. I come with a message from
나람신의
Narum-Sin
엄청난
for
충복이랬죠.
Inanna.
What is the message?
Tell her that her brother is dead.
아
The king is
나람신이 죽였나 봐요.
Yes. I found him outside the temple. The
성전에서
wretch had
발견해서
ended his own life.
spear in
자살했다고
the back, I'm sure.
하네요.
Tell Inanna she is to come to the throne room of
에헤두안나가
and give him her
엔헤두안나가 떠난
blessing
사이에
publicly.
나람신이 그
This
왕을
is the
죽이고
path to peace, Gudyan.
새로운 왕자를 차지했네요.
Now leave.
I will be back soon.
Tahunum drew the slit closed and looked searchingly at Ninki, his concern interrupted seconds later by the wall's secret passage reopening as Inanna emerged, blinking in the torchlight.
High Priestess.
I heard, Tarhunum,
약간 숨어있다가 듣고 나왔나
but
봐요.
I do not have time to grieve. I must go to Narum-Sin and make it clear that I stand against him. His impiety must not appear to have my approval.
너 죽지 않을까?
But, High Priestess, he will have you slain.
Not if I make my reproach in public, for he would lose the people's favor if he killed me. He is surely anxious about his authority, and so will try to appear magnanimous in response to my censure. Perhaps I will be banished, but he will not harm me directly. Ninki, listen carefully. Naram-Sin has repeatedly defamed Inanna in order to weaken my standing with the people. To show his power, Naram-Sin's men will soon ransack and pillage the temple. They will be looking to destroy the tablet of the holiest May, but we must ensure they do not find it. You must escape with the tablet and bring
그러니까
it safely to the
이
Druidia.
이난나 씨는
But how will I reach the Druidia High Priestess?
First, you must travel up
그
the Euphrates
성전이나
until you can go no
여신을
further,
보호하기
and then
위해서
make your way on foot to the Western Sea.
나람신과
There, you will
대처를
sail
하기로
to
했고
Crete and seek the help of King Bansabira. Within the
그렇게
tunes of the
힘을
temple, there is a
모으려고
route that leads
떠나는 것
under the
같아요.
city to an exit near the docks. The path is well hidden with puzzles to lead astray the unworthy. You will need to make your way carefully through the underground passages to the
이제
dock.
그 지하 통로를 통해서
Could I not simply go publicly to the docks, High Priestess?
나람신과 대치하는 걸 하고 사실 이 사람이 좀 되게 중요한 인물이기 때문에 죽일 수 없다는 거 핑계
The only
삼아서
reason they have not
런
come
하려고
for
하는
you
것
already
같아요.
is that Naram-Sin still hopes I will support his coup. The moment he knows I will not support him as king, you will be in great danger. He will hope to punish me through your pain. Tarhunum, you must go at once and prepare a boat to sail through the marshes
그리고
of the
에네두안나는
Euphrates.
매우 지명한 인물이기 때문에 죽이지 못하지만 관련된 분들은 죽일 수 있다는 걸
High Priestess, surely
하기
I must stay
때문에
and protect you.
Do not argue with me, Gu Tian. You must protect Ninki and the tablet now.
하는데 충직과 부하들은 얘를 구하시려 하지만 현실적으로
Swear to do so, High Priestess. I swear on my life.
I will hold you to
그래도
it, brave
이렇게
warrior.
대사자의
Remember, Ninki, the tablet
사제에게
contains the key to restoring
충직한
Inanna
편이
to her
있네요.
rightful throne. You must succeed.
I understand, High Priestess. I will bring the tablet to Druidia.
May you
태블릿
succeed in doing so, my beloved Ninki. Now go, both of you. May Inanna watch over you and guide you on your path.
The young priestess Ninki followed in head one.
정말 뭐
through
내가
the
할 수
temple
있는 거
down
없는
into the
건가?
most ancient and long-forgotten corner of the tombs. Here in Headwanner grasped a large but unassuming clay slab and lifted it, unveiling a shadowy portal whose steep steps were barely visible with Ninki's torch. In Headwanner did not hide her tears as she embraced her beloved priestess, but said nothing as Ninki descended into the underground. As Ninki reached the base of the stairs, she looked up one last time at the high priestess.
그 다음에 이제 그 크레타 섬으로 가서 그 동맹군을 얻기 위해서 온 거죠.
In Headwanner regarded her gently and a
그
final tear
지하
dropped into the underworld as she slid the clay
로
covering
와서
back into place.
내용이 시작되는 것 같아요. 이 지하 통로를 통과해서 크레타 섬으로 몰래 가야죠. 당당하게 갈 수 없는 건 죽임을 당할 수
Ninki
있기
took a deep breath as she emerged in an overgrown outcropping above the river. Looking carefully, she saw the docks nearby, their structures reflecting with the
이쁘긴 하네요.
moonlight on the water. She carefully made her way down the bank to the boats and buildings, hoping she would remain unnoticed as she scanned the faces of sailors and
그러니까
workers
아침에
ready
새벽
at the door.
선원들한테 들키지 않고 몰래 이렇게
Yet,
했다고 하네요.
try as she might, she could not spot Tahunum anywhere among them. After many fruitless minutes, she sat by an empty boat and stared at the inky waters, pondering her next move. Just as her remaining hope seemed to sink into the water's depths, an unfamiliar voice called from behind to her.
Are you Ninki?
인기?
Who are you, sir?
You are seeking the Gutian that was waiting here, yes? Listen, child, for I am a Gutian too. Your friend was just taken away by the guards.
아,
What? Taken where?
They were headed down that alleyway. But be careful. If you go after them, the guards did not look like they came to talk.
그 나람신의 부하들인 것 같아요.
Ninki cautiously entered the alley, its tall ramp past several winding bends. The alleyway opened and here she saw the silhouette of Tahunum encircled by several menacing figures.
Well, Gutian, it looks like you've come to your end.
I've looked forward to doing this. Gulligal, that's your name, isn't it?
What does it matter? You'll soon never say anything again.
I saw your name written within a seal. It must have been a
주문?
spell. It is in my pouch. Look for yourself.
Take it from him, guard.
이거 갈라가는 왜 자기 잃어버렸어?
Well, does it say my name?
I cannot read it, sir.
아, 그때 뭐 맞던 아니던 충복한 신하기 때문에 그냥 죽이려는 거겠죠.
Give it to me.
You must press the top of it, Galagal.
그래도 이 갈라갈이 가지고 있는 것 중에 뭔가 되게 중요한 정보가 있나 봐요.
That opens it.
A low hum emanated from the mysterious box as it began to glow with an otherworldly blue luster.
윙윙.
Galagal brought the box close to his face, his mouth open in confusion as he studied its decorations. Suddenly Ninki heard a loud crack like a whip and the alleyway was filled with a
그
burst
뭔가
of light.
상자에 뭔가 엄청난 영향이 있는 게 있었나
She
봐요.
recoiled back behind the corner of the alley, then heard Tahunum staggering clumsily past her towards the dock as he covered his eyes. She gently grabbed his arm and called out to him.
Tarhunum, I am here.
Quick, child, to the docks, before they regain their sight.
When the flash of blue light had briefly beamed upwards from the city, many ideas and questions rushed through the Gutian sailor's mind. But once Ninki and Tahunum appeared from the alley, his only thought was to quickly finish readying Tahunum's boat. The Gutians clasped hands and nodded meaningfully to each other just before the boat pushed off into the Euphrates. As Ninki watched the city of the only home she had ever known, disappear into the horizon, Tahunum began the long work of rowing upstream to its headlands.
We're safe for the moment, but they will be right behind us. Let's hope we get back.
Tarhunum, how did that seal create such a bright light?
The mess reveals great powers.
아,
Ninki.
그 아까 그게 메스의 힘을 가지고 있던 건가 봐요.
With them, you could put a rainbow in a box or move a pillar unseen.
오,
But if Inanna is right, the tablet will be more of a magician's trick.
뭔가 엄청난 힘을 가지고
Human
있고
destiny.
하는 건가 봐요.
By the second day of rowing, the travelers were deep within the Mesopotamian marshes. Ninki felt a curious presence as she watched the reeds and tamarisks glide past in rhythmic synchronization with Tahunum's rowing. She intuitively reached into her pack and unwrapped the tablet. She gasped, for the entire tablet was radiating with a soft blue light.
Tarhunum, look! The tablet is glowing. What does it mean?
I have heard the High Priestess said its secret is connected to the marshes. But I
그
do not know
이거는
how.
해보니까 게임이 아니라 약간 메소포타미아에 대한 그 설화 같은 거네요. 어떠셨나요? 여러분들이 스토리가 궁금하시면은 이건 무료 게임이기 때문에 한번 보셨으면 좋을 것 같아요. 그럼 여기서 마치도록 하겠습니다. 즐겁게 보셨으면 트위치 팔로우, 유튜브 구독, 좋아요 부탁드려요. 그럼 안녕.